record 1 billion smartphones will be shipped in 2013, while mobile advertising will get split into two categories, tablets and smartphones. That's according to the 12th edition of the global Deloitte Touche Technology, Media and Telecommunications Prediction Report. For more on this, we're joined by Paul Lee, Global Director for Research Technology, Media and Telecommunications at Deloitte. So that is an enormous amount of phones in terms of the scheme of things. It's only going to get higher from here, isn't it?
It will continue getting high for another few years, but probably will plateau quite soon. But what we're seeing though is 3 million smartphones being manufactured every single day. And just a few years ago, this was a category which was regarded as a luxury. But just last year, we estimate that about 300 million smartphones sold for about $100. So whilst at one end you've got things like the iPhone and you have the Galaxy S3, at the other end you've got a big range of phones which are emerging and which are becoming more and more addressable for the African market.
The PC is not dead. I don't know if you picked this up in the report. Tell us how so.
Well, one of the comments we often hear is that the PC is no longer, but we think it's an era of PC plus other devices. So the reason why we think the PC sustains is because the screen is much larger and also because it has a keyboard. So tablets and smartphones are becoming more and more popular, but they are really consumption devices, they're not creation devices. So they're quite different in what they actually do. They're complementary.
So just on your definition of PC, are you referring to laptops and desktops? Or?
Yes, it's both categories.
Okay.
So the laptop is predominating, and there are still desktops, but they're becoming more and more specialist.
No, I can't see myself giving my laptop anytime soon. What are your consumption habits, by the way, in the technology space?
Just in terms of, when traveling, I actually just use a tablet, whereas at the office I'll use a laptop. So that's essentially what I do. In South Africa, data is still expensive, so one tends not to actually use your smartphone if you're using an iPhone or a Galaxy S3 because you find that it's a lot more expensive than a BlackBerry, which is why South Africa is the second largest market for BlackBerries in the world right now.
Looking at television trends, we all need to start preparing for high def, and that's now, I see in your report, termed 4K.
Yes, we're preparing for very high definition, or ultra high definition, as well as high definition.
Because we're pretty much there and thereabout, most of us, with high def. I'm not sure if I actually know whether I've got something that is high def or not, although when I buy the television, it says you're buying a high def product.
Yeah, so at the moment, most television sets which are sold are high definition TV sets. And what we're expecting to see happen over the next few years is introduction of the next level of high definition. So high def currently will become the mid-range, and the new high definition will be 4 times the resolution of the current high definition. And once you've upgraded to that, there's another upgrade after that called 8K, which is 6 times the current resolution. The reason why this is happening is because TV sets are getting bigger and bigger. When I look around some of the stores in South Africa, you can see people are buying up to 80-inch TV sets. When you have sets which are that big, you need lots of resolution to fill them.
But does this mean I'm going to have to keep upgrading my television?
Yes, that will be happening. So the lifetime of a television set, say 10 years ago, used to be about 15 years. Then it dropped to about 7, and that's dropping to about 5. So we're becoming more and more willing to upgrade our television sets.
It's an industry perhaps we should go into.
Well, to me, the question is recycling these television sets, because there's a lot of technology in them which can effectively be recycled, and are those companies actually looking at that right now, given the short lives?
Yes, I mean there are lots of companies which are looking at exactly how to recycle television sets and other devices, particularly smartphones. There is there's an enormous quantity of smartphones which are disposed of every single year, and all of them have very precious materials and minerals which are within there.
We're running out of time, and there are 2 quick things that I want to touch on. This trend to bring your own computer, the 2 different terminations, quickly talk me through that, and then also the looming spectrum shortage, which I think could be a very real problem.
Yeah, so in what we've seen in a number of markets is whereby people are bringing their own devices. So as people accumulate more devices, they're bringing into their workplace. And what we're looking at the moment is whether people want to bring in their own computers. We think that will be more difficult to do because it's more of a fundamental component of the workplace. So that bit will be more difficult to happen. And in terms of the other points, if you could just remind me.
It was basically the looming spectrum shortage we've touched on.
Yes.
But the other one was bring your own computer to
sorry.
work.
So in terms of the spectrum shortage, what the challenges for mobile networks is that there is a commodity which is spectrum, which is scarce. And the more usage there is of mobile networks, particularly of data, the more that commodity gets used up. So the issue that many markets are facing, including the African markets, is a lack of that bandwidth. So there will be a tussle over who owns that between TV companies and telecoms companies.
So it's your traditional demand supply. That's what we're going to be entering to
yes, that's
on
what
the
we're
spectrum
entering
side
to.
of things.